so cool, man. Like some of the drugs they were doing.
Are you okay?
Everything's fine. Okay.
We're like
Buffer
lemmings.
time, yo.
Lemmings.
All right.
Oh, there's bubbles.
There are bubbles. Is everybody ready?
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Commence.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Let's go. I told you I put way too much effort into the transition.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Uh-huh. Okay. So this is Whale Influencers, a presentation by me. We're going to begin with a little audience participation. What do you all know about whales?
They are scary.
Good.
They are intensely scary.
They're
They're massive.
The blue whale is the largest one on Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They sing.
They do.
Oh,
Evolve.
you are on the right track, Miranda.
Am I?
Uh-huh. Any other whale facts you
A
want to
lot of
shout out?
myoglobin in their muscles.
Whales can shatter
They're
your
mammals.
Evolved from
Fantastic.
animals.
Love to hear it. Well, you don't love to hear it,
Well,
but
I
we
wouldn't love to hear
Did,
that.
did you say whales can shatter your eardrum?
Yep.
Yes, they can. If you're close enough, they can absolutely destroy you.
Yeah, because they're like really loud.
they're incredibly loud, and I will talk
High-pitched.
about that. We will get
Like
there.
sonars,
All right, moving on.
Submarines, except alive.
Yes, great, great. I love that. Now let's move on to the second half of the title. What do we know about influencers?
Oh, they're annoying as hell.
Scandals.
Scandals. Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Sophia.
Sometimes they do makeup and they look like the spider from Miss Spider's Sunny Patch Friends.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay. Well, that is some background knowledge that we have. Good to know where we're at.
They love
Anyways.
fake apologies.
Oh, they do.
Oh, that's a good one.
All right, we will begin. Here we will be meeting our star. I told you I put way too much effort into this.
Wait, what? What?
Oh my god.
Oh,
What is this? On either side. He's an influencer.
well, you're a tryhard.
I'm sorry, is this real?
No.
Okay.
This is 100% Photoshop.
Okay. Oh god. I thought it was real.
No. This is something I put together using a lot of Google Images.
Wow.
Never mind. Anyways, this is Billy Bob. Don't ask him why he's named that. He is a 21-year-old humpback whale living off the coast of West Australia. That fact is important. Also, 21 is like young middle-aged for whales. They usually live like 40. Humpback whales lived between like 40 and 60 years.
It's great.
Nice. Yeah.
Good for them.
Yes. He's about 45 feet long, so your DJ's right, he is massive. He weighs about 35 tons. It's like 35 cars.
Massive.
However, he cannot eat you. He physically cannot swallow you. They're very gentle, unless you get too close to their fins, in which case they have like sharp barnacles on them and they'll like smack you around. But they're generally pretty chill. Humans are just like ants to them. They're just like, oh look, it's a small little creature. But anyways, he eats krill and small fish. And also how good it looks on his timeline, because that's a special method of how humpback whales feed in the Antarctic. It's called bubble netting. So basically they swim underneath the krill and they blow a bunch of bubbles to like push them into this tight little ball, and then they just scoop up from underneath, and it's very cool actually. It's very efficient. And it's really cool because it's efficient. I love it. Keep it up.
I didn't say that.
Who did? Jessica. I love it. Keep it up. But anyways, it's very cool, and it's our first evidence of whales having culture, because they will teach it to their children. The technique. They're not born knowing how to do this. They get taught it.
Who figured it out the first time?
I have no idea, and I cannot answer that for you.
When mating season hits, I'm dropping a new single. It's gonna be weird.
I wanted to say lit, but I don't think a whale would have the concept of fire.
Lit like the ocean. Like
It's gonna be bioluminescent.
Yeah.
The party lights time.
So, anyways, by the way, whales are not monogamous by any means. They like to sleep around. But they do have like tight social bonds.
Whale a whore.
They are, yeah. Whale, more like whore.
Whore.
Humpback whore.
I don't call it a whale tail for no reason.
Anyways, they have pretty tight social bonds, especially with their families. Moms and calves are adorable. Like moms and calves have their own special like way of talking to each other. It's very, they have like baby talk. It's adorable. And a lot of times a mom and like her calf and then like two male friends they'll swim together and they'll hang out. And then the bubble netting here, each like pea shape is its own whale. So this is like two whales working together. So they're very social and they're very fun creatures, which makes them prime targets for being influencers. They're also incredibly smart and very cool. So now we're gonna understand his art.
Ooh.
So here is some whale noises. Hopefully this is gonna make noise.
It's muted.
It is. Thank you, Alex. Come on. Alright, let's continue. Okay, so that whale song, that was like a 1 minute clip. Inside whale songs, there are distinct styles of notes, including the long moaning notes. There are a bunch in that clip. Low-pitched grunts, loud short blasts or barks, high-pitched shrieks or chirps, and then funky clicking noises.
Ooh.
The scientific terms for all of these things.
Correct. So that's like a long... Why is that one so long? I thought I put it down. So that's like a long moaning note one, and then... That's like
Sarah!
a grunt. Is it Sarah? Come in! I will pause. Actually... That is a chirp. I put them in the wrong order, I'm just not realizing. Here's the funky clicking noise. It's a funky clicking noise.
It's motorcycle.
It's pretty funky.
You see motorcycles.
It sounds like a motorcycle or the
Thank you, Alex.
the like Stranger Things monster.
Oh, you're right.
Hi.
Hi. Sarah's here.
Hi.
Oh, Millen is there.
Hi!
Wait. Hi.
Hi! Let me hug.
There we go.
May I hug each of you?
Yes.
Yes.
Your hair. Oh my god. Sorry, I'll be back.
Good hair. I'll be back.
I love that color. Thank you.
Wow.
Oh, hi.
She's going in.
Good hug. Hi. Hello. Oh my god, your sweater. Thank you.
Oh, she's going this way.
I don't know what's happening.
I'm sorry.
Hi.
Hi.
No.
Hi.
Did there be
Oh,
another
my
sweater?
little bears.
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 My hands are cold. Let's put your back.
It's okay. You can probably
All right.
switch
Do you
in.
want to squish?
Yes, go
Yes.
ahead and swish.
Okay, I calm down.
We're in the middle of my presentation on whale influencers.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
You sound like a grandma trying to be interested in my college curriculum. Anyways, where I was at, we're talking about the basic building blocks of whale songs. We got the bunch of weird noises that we have just listened to. The general sound range is from 30 to 8,000 hertz, so it varies a lot and we can't hear all of it. But we can hear a decent amount of it. The really cool thing to me is that they're produced inside the whale's blowhole, but they don't actually have to exhale to make the noises, which is kind of interesting.
Wait, how do we do it?
It's not super well understood, but like if you're watching a whale sing, there's no air coming out of its blowhole. It's kind of similar to how dolphins do it. They have like a weird little voice box, larynx, somewhere in the back of their head. They're really not sure because there's no humpback whales in captivity because they're so massive. So everything they get, they have to study from them in the wild. And it's hard to tell how the sounds get made when you have a dead specimen working with. So it's a little bit difficult to find out, but they don't actually have to breathe. They're just chilling underwater making loud noises. So this is like a basic, like, physical someone wrote down what the sound sounded like. This is an early one from the 70s, which was the first big movement into whale song exploration. Everyone in the 70s was like, whale song is so cool, man. Like all the drugs they were doing. But anyways, we're all pretty musical. So you can look at that and you can kind of be like, that looks kind of like sheet music. So if you really listen to a whole long whale song, you see that the notes become arranged into phrases. These phrases get repeated usually 3 to 4 times. And those get arranged into themes, which are there are generally 2 to 5 themes in a song, depending on the song. These themes get arranged into a melody or a single song. And these are repeated multiple times to make a whale song. Yeah, so whale songs get, there's like a song and then they just sing it over and over again for hours on end. If you sing it once, it's usually about half an hour to an hour, but the whales can sing for up to like 24 hours at a time. Whales are big and they live a long time, so they don't have much else to do. The ocean's a big empty place. They just like to make loud noises. But it's really interesting if you look at on the previous slide, the sheet there, if you look at a whole like seismograph of, not seismograph, that's earthquakes, but if you look at a whole, if you look at the whole graphing of their musical notes, you can see it's very similarly arranged as to human music, where it's got like your phrases and your themes and they're arranged to like verses and choruses, and then that makes up a whole song, and then that song just gets repeated over and over again. It's weirdly similar to human music, which is really cool, because it's like, is that just a nature thing where like music is just structured like that? Like, we're not special. So anyways, why do whales sing? Scientists aren't really sure, but probably to get fucking laid.
When it all slowly came together, like I saw it 2 seconds before it was official.
Oh yeah,
Like it registered in my brain just as you said it.
This is my favorite slide. Yeah, so there's a lot of So there's actually a decent amount of debate about this, because the singing pretty much happens the majority on the way to and from breeding season, or mating season. So they think it's because it happens temporally, because whales have 2 seasons. There's feeding season and there's mating season. And whales migrate back and forth to the equator for mating season because it's warm there. And then Antarctica, or the Arctic, depending on where your whale is, but we're talking about Australians, so they go to Antarctica for the feeding season because there's a ton of krill there and other food supplies. So mostly the singing happens as they go to mating season. That's when the majority of the singing happens. And then during mating season and on the way back, they don't really sing during feeding season in Antarctica, probably because they're too busy stuffing their faces. But anyways, that's why they think it's related to breeding. However, they've never actually recorded a female taking any interest in the song. But other males, if they hear another male singing, they will get competitive and they can get aggressive. So they're thinking it's probably like an, oh hey, look, I'm so healthy and I'm gonna steal your bitch. And so the other guy's like, hell no, I'm also big, strong, and healthy. And the female is just over there like, like they really, like females don't show really any interest in the songs. It's only males who will just get annoyed if you start singing around them. Yes, Sarah?
Do females sing or is it just
They do not sing. All whales make noise. I was saying earlier before you got here, just a little bit. I didn't talk about this part. But like whales and their calves, like female humpback whales and their calves have a super tight bond, and female whales will make specific sounds that they only make to their calves. It's like baby talk, which is adorable. They make a lot of noises. They're a very communicative species because they're very social and collaborative. There's a lot of pods and family-based and friend-based stuff too. They have pretty strong non-familial ties, which is not super common in nature. But when they go back down to feeding season, a lot of times they'll meet up with old whale friends that they haven't seen since last feeding season, and they'll work together to fish. What?
How familiar?
Coming
home for Thanksgiving.
Yes, exactly. But so yeah, all whales make noise, especially humpback whales, females to their children. And when they die, they have special like mourning songs. They're not like full-on whale songs like the humpback whale songs are, but there's like specific noises in specific patterns that you'll hear when whales die. Because whales are super social and very affectionate creatures. Yeah, and they like talk. They have plenty of noises, but only the males sing these really long, really dramatic compositional pieces. Good question, Sarah.
Thank you.
Thank
you for your answer.
I did a lot of research into whales.
She definitely.
Yeah. Also, Sarah, I hope there's not going to be any picture that's too open ocean for you. I think all of them have whales in them.
All right. How much of this did I miss?
You missed like the first 4 or 5 slides.
All right.
So.
Okay. If you see me like, then you know.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Just mild trigger warning. Okay. So we got a few more whale facts, and then it's influencer time. So I was saying humpback whales migrate. I already talked about most of this. And humpback whales are loud, like Alex was saying. They will shatter your eardrums if you're too close to them. And the sound can travel up to... Yes, Sophia?
They shatter eardrums. Does it like create a circle of death with all the fish around them when they sing, or like what?
Well, fish don't have ears like ours.
Ears,
yeah. Fish don't have ears?
Yeah. Well, they do have ears, but like our hearing is suited for on-air hearing versus in the water hearing is different. In the water, actually, sound is the most important way to get information about your environment because, as Sarah knows, the open ocean, there's not much to see. It's just big blue nothingness for the most part. Sorry, Sarah.
Okay. Think of land, think of the grass.
Oh, and the forest.
Grounding. Oh, thank God. Okay.
So, and plus it's pretty dark if you're diving pretty deep in the ocean, or if it's nighttime. So sight is not nearly as important to these creatures as sound is, because sound travels faster underwater, and it's also more reliable, and sounds can travel further, and you can get a pretty, like if you know when you're underwater and you're looking around and everything looks kind of weird, it's less distorted to use echolocation and other methods like that, rather than just seeing. Plus, if you're in the ocean, touch is not going to be super big. Smell doesn't carry too far in the ocean unless you're like a shark and you're super specialized for smell. So, like our primary sight of sensing the world is sight, but whales, it's hearing. Like look how absolutely large this boy's head is. It goes from it's like a third of his body, and that's all just to hear. So the sound can travel really far, and whales are very good at hearing it. So now, whales are conformists. So if this dude's singing a song, this dude is probably singing the exact same song. It's really cool if you go and you're in mating season, you listen to one whale song, it's going to be pretty much the exact same as another male in that same physical region. Doesn't matter where in the world you are, the whales, the songs will differ from area to area, but within that area, the song is pretty much all the same. So, where does Billy Bob come in?
Yeah.
Okay, so Billy Bob drops his singles. They did a study on the whale songs of populations over time, and they discovered this really, really interesting trend. So over here, shows the migratory patterns. So we have two kind of groups, the ones on West Africa and the ones on, that's not Africa, West Australia and East Australia.
I was like, yeah, that's totally Africa.
That's definitely
I didn't even notice.
No. West Australia and East Australia. So they're separated during the actual mating season by an entire continent, so they can't hear each other. However, they kind of come closer to contact each other on their way to and from feeding season in Antarctica. So these whales do come within hearing range of each other during certain parts of the year. And because they're isolated, they found a really interesting pattern emerge. So basically this is east to west. East Australia is over here, West Australia, New Caledonia is here, Tonga is here. It's like a straight line, American Samoa and then French Polynesia. Oh, and the Cook Islands. I forgot about those, they're in there somewhere. Yeah, that picture's really blurry and small. There's really not any good map of the South Pacific, which is very annoying. Like literally, I looked up South Pacific and it was showing me like the Pacific. I don't remember what it was showing me, but it was not what I wanted. It showed up America at least. And I was like, excuse you, I want Australia. But anyways, they recorded the songs, and the songs are very recognizable because all the males are singing them. And over the years, they found there was a distinct song type, and then it spread across the spread eastward across the Pacific. And then, this is Billy. He drops a new song. It's a completely different song type. It is not thematically similar to the black song type. It is now the blue song type, and it's completely distinct from what he was singing before. This wasn't just a slow evolution. Like here in the gray, you could see there was some slight evolution, some themes and phrases got changed around, but it's not thematically completely distinct. There are groups of whales in this Eastern Australia that come up with a completely new tune, and they just start singing it, and then all the other whales gradually pick up the new song and they adopt it as their own. So there are whales like Billy Bob who come up with new songs, sing them, and then everyone else is like, this slaps, and they also sing them. And that's really crazy because you can see there's just like distinct lines of color. Pretty much without fail, the color, it spreads eastward. A completely new song type appears and it automatically dominates. And the whales seem very, very eager to ditch their old song and come up with this new song. And it's also really crazy that the only really place that the only real place where this stuff is happening is in the Western Australians. That's when the new songs come from, and then it spreads from there, which is really crazy. So it's like, why are the Tonga whales not creative? Or is it just the West African ones are super creative? So there's a lot of questions there, but it answers one question, that whales have culture.
Taylor Swift.
Because culture is the definition of culture is learned behaviors that are passed down through generation, especially stuff that doesn't directly impact survival. Like there's a lot of debate of like orcas have distinct like hunting methods based on where they live. Like one area they'll jump onto beaches and grab polar bears, or not polar bears, seals. Another one they'll hunt for fish. Like, does that define culture? But this is straight up music. Like, you can't say whales don't have culture and then say that a culture's musical thing defines their culture. Like, you know, Slovakian music versus East Asian music versus like African music. They're all very distinct and they're passed down through generation to generation, which is what whales do. But there's also evidence of now cultural transmission, and it's not just straight up like it's not vertical, which is like mother to calf to their calf to their calf. It's like between individuals in different, generally geographically distinct areas. This is like when everyone comes to America and they all share their musical traditions, and then it comes up with jazz, you know? Like, this is what that is, which is kind of crazy because for a very long time humans were like, we're so much better than animals, like, because we have culture. Like, animals, all they know how to do is like learned behaviors. Like, that's not culture. But like, what is more cultural than music? So yeah, Billy Bob is basically Taylor Swift. And so thank you for listening. Billy Bob says, appreciate the whales. Here's my work
So who's Billy Bob?
Where's the first line?
Oh, Billy Bob.
Yeah.
This is
Oh.
This is a
Oh,
magnet.
nice.
Again.
See him?
Oh, like, there.
Yes. Oh God.
Yeah.
That's
Did
cute.
you see the Y?
The Y?
The Y slide? Were you here for that?
I don't know.
Wait.
Okay,
no,
I'll just go through it again.
I think it was the one that.
I think you were here for that because you came here after this slide.
Yeah.
I was-
definitely saw
The
it.
I think
Yeah,
we need
you
to see
did.
it again.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
I did.
Oh, yeah.
I like that slide.
All right, wonderful. Nice to meet you, Billy Bob.
Yeah, that's Billy Bob.
Cool.
Okay, cool.
Very nice.
so educational.
That was so
Thank you.
educational.
I hope you enjoyed.